I thought I had moved on. 7 years is a long time to heal from betrayal, and I had done the work. My life in Portland was simple but good. I worked as a software engineer at a small startup, had my own apartment overlooking the Willamette River, and started each morning with coffee and a walk through the neighborhood. The past felt distant, almost like it belonged to someone else. Then one Saturday morning in late September, my doorbell rang. I was not expecting anyone. When I opened that door, the life I had carefully rebuilt came crashing down around me. Before I tell you what happened when I opened that door, let me ask you something. Drop a comment below and let me know where you are watching from. Have you ever had someone from your past show up uninvited, demanding something you never agreed to give? If this story resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe, because what unfolded over the next few weeks taught me lessons about boundaries, manipulation, and standing firm in your truth that I wish I had learned years ago. Trust me, you will want to hear how this ends, because what she said when I opened that door changed everything. Standing in my doorway was Diane, my ex-girlfriend from 7 years ago, the woman who had shattered my heart into pieces so small I thought I would never put them back together. She looked different, thinner, more tired. Her hair was longer now, falling past her shoulders instead of the short bob she used to wear. Dark circles framed her eyes, but it was her unmistakably, and beside her, gripping her hand, was a little boy. He looked about 6 years old, with brown hair and green eyes, staring down at his sneakers, like he wished he could disappear into them. I froze. My mouth opened, but no words came out. My brain could not process what I was seeing. Diane spoke first, her voice shaky but determined. "Hi, Austin. We need to talk." I stood there like a statue for what felt like hours, but was probably only seconds. Finally, I managed to step aside and gesture them in. My hands were trembling. The boy walked in slowly, still looking at the ground, while Diane followed, her grip on his shoulder, tight and protective. I closed the door and turned to face them, my heart hammering so hard I could hear it in my ears. I need to back up for a moment. Diane and I met when we were both 25, introduced by a mutual friend at a barbecue. The connection was instant. We spent 2 years together making plans, talking about the future, falling into that comfortable rhythm couples get into when they think they have found the one. But somewhere around the 2-year mark, things changed. She became distant, secretive. Her phone was always face down. She started working late more often. I tried to talk to her about it, but she brushed me off every time. Then I found out. A message popped up on her laptop while she was in the shower. It was from someone named Marcus, a coworker of hers. The message was not ambiguous. They had been seeing each other for months. When I confronted her, she did not even try to deny it. She just packed a bag and left. Blocked my number. Blocked me on every social media platform. Vanished from my life like I had never existed. It took me years to recover from that. Years to trust anyone again. And now, here she was, sitting on my couch, like no time had passed at all. Diane sat down and pulled the boy close to her side. He still had not looked up. She took a deep breath, and then she dropped the bomb that made my entire world spin off its axis. "Austin, this is Liam. He is your son." The words did not make sense. I heard them, but they bounced off my brain like they were in a foreign language. "Your son. How could that be possible? We had broken up 7 years ago. If she had been pregnant, she would have told me." "Wouldn't she?" Diane kept talking, filling the silence with her explanation. "She said she found out she was pregnant right after we broke up. She claimed she thought she could handle it on her own, that she did not want to come back to me after everything that had happened. But now she said life was too hard. Money was tight. Liam needed things she could not afford. He needed a father. And she looked at me with this mix of desperation and entitlement that made my stomach turn. "You owe us a life, Austin," she said, her voice rising slightly. "I have been doing this alone for 6 years. Liam deserves to have his father in his life. I need help. I need $2,000 a month for child support, and I need you to step up and be a dad." I sat across from them, trying to process what I was hearing. $2,000 a month. A child I had never known about. A woman who had betrayed me disappeared and now returned with demands. My first instinct was anger. pure, white-hot anger, but underneath that was confusion, and I hate to admit it, a flicker of guilt. What if this was true? What if I really did have a son I had known nothing about? But then logic kicked in. The timeline did not add up. We had broken up 7 years ago, and this boy looked 6 at most. And Diane had been sleeping with Marcus back then. I looked at Liam more closely. He had green eyes. Mine are brown. His face, his features, none of them looked like me. I'm not saying kids always look like their parents, but something felt off. I asked the question that was burning in my mind. Why now? After 7 years, why show up now? Diane shifted uncomfortably. She avoided eye contact and started talking about how hard things had been. She had lost her job a few months ago. Her car had broken down. She was behind on rent. The more she talked, the more it sounded less like she wanted me to be a father and more like she wanted me to be a wallet. I told her I needed time to think. She agreed reluctantly, but said she would be back in a few days. She scribbled her phone number on a piece of paper and left it on my coffee table. As she stood to leave, she looked at me with this expression that was half pleading, half accusing, like I was already failing some test I did not know I was taking. After they left, I sat in my apartment in complete silence. My coffee had gone cold. The morning sunlight streaming through the window felt too bright, too cheerful for the storm brewing inside me. I did not know what to think. I did not know what to feel. All I knew was that my carefully constructed peace had just been shattered by a ghost from my past and a child who might or might not be mine. That night I could not sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying the conversation over and over. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Liam's face, that sad, scared look in his eyes. Whether he was mine or not, he was just a kid caught in the middle of something he did not understand. But I also could not shake the feeling that something was very wrong with Diane's story. By 3 a.m, I gave up on sleep and sat at my kitchen table with my laptop. I started searching for information, anything that could help me understand what was happening. Finally, around 4 a.m., I called my best friend Jake. Jake and I went to college together, and he had gone on to become a lawyer. If anyone could help me navigate this mess, it was him. Jake answered on the 3rd ring, his voice groggy with sleep. "Austin, do you know what time it is?" I know. I am sorry. But I need your help. Something happened." I told him everything. When I finished, there was a long pause on the other end of the line. "Austin, listen to me very carefully," Jake said, his voice now fully awake and serious. "Before you do anything, before you give her a single dollar, before you even consider what she is asking, you need a DNA test. Do not let guilt or fear or anything else push you into a decision without proof." "But what if he really is mine?" I asked, voicing the fear that had been gnawing at me all night. "What if I have been a father for 6 years and did not know it? Then the test will prove that and you can figure out what comes next," Jake said. "But if you do not get that test, you could end up responsible for a child who is not yours. And Austin, based on what you have told me about the timeline and her history, I would bet money that kid is not yours." Jake was right. I knew he was right. But asking for a DNA test felt cold, like I was accusing her of lying. Then again, she had lied to me before. She had cheated on me and then vanished. Why should I trust her now? I made my decision. I would ask for the test, calmly, firmly, and without apology. 3 days later, Diane showed up at my apartment again. This time she was alone. She had a paper bag with her filled with what she said were medical bills, receipts for school supplies, proof of all the expenses she had been covering alone. She wanted me to sign something, some kind of informal agreement to start paying child support immediately. I let her lay it all out on my coffee table. Then I spoke. "Diane, I need proof. We need a DNA test." Her face changed instantly. The desperation melted away and was replaced by anger. Her eyes narrowed. "You do not trust me. After everything, he is your son, Austin. I should not have to prove that to you." I kept my voice calm, even though my heart was racing. "If he is my son, the test will prove it. And if he is, I will do everything I should do. But I need to know for sure." She stood up, pacing my small living room like a caged animal. "This is insulting. I came here because Liam needs his father, and you are treating me like some kind of con artist. You cheated on me with Marcus 7 years ago, I said quietly. The timeline does not add up. I am not trying to insult you. I am trying to protect myself. She stared at me for a long moment. I could see her mind working, calculating. Finally, she let out a frustrated breath. Fine, but you are paying for it. And when it proves I am right, you owe us for all these years. Every birthday you missed, every time Liam asked where his daddy was, you owe us. She pulled out her phone and found the information for a local clinic that did paternity testing. She sent me the address. We made an appointment for the following week. Before she left, she turned to me one last time. I hope you can live with yourself for putting us through this. Then she was gone, and I was alone again with my thoughts. The days that followed were some of the strangest of my life. Diane started texting me constantly. Updates about Liam, photos of him at the park, messages about things he needed. It felt like she was trying to build some kind of connection to make me feel like I was already part of his life. But it all felt manipulative, like she was trying to guilt me into compliance before the test results came back. Then things got worse. A few days after our meeting, I got a phone call from a number I did not recognize. I answered, and a woman's sharp voice came through the line. Is this Austin? Yes, who is this? This is Patricia, Diane's mother. I cannot believe you. How dare you abandon your child? Diane has struggled for 7 years, and now you have the nerve to demand a DNA test like she is some kind of liar. I was stunned, Diane had told her mother. And apparently she had left out the part about cheating on me and disappearing. Ma'am, with all due respect, I only found out about Liam a week ago. I am not abandoning anyone. I am just asking for proof before I commit to anything. Proof, she spat. That boy is the spitting image of you. If you had any decency, you would step up and be a man. I tried to explain about the timeline about Diane's affair with Marcus, but Patricia was not interested in hearing it. She called me selfish and heartless before hanging up on me. Over the next few days, I started getting messages on social media. Friends of Diane, people I had never met, sending me accusing messages. Some of them were angry. A few were almost threatening. It felt like I was being attacked from every direction.